I've always been certain. Humanity has always reached for something greater than itself. We tamed fire and stopped fearing the night. We invented the wheel, and the horizon was no longer a boundary. We harnessed electricity and turned night into day. And then we taught machines to think. But not quite the way we expected. And today, we're going to look at what can be done about that. Hello, it is Humi. I built the original TavernAI back in 2022. At the time, there was basically nothing like it. No proper local interface for AI chat, no real character card ecosystem. So I made one. But TavernAI 2 is not a rewrite. It is a completely new system, designed and architected from scratch. Every component was engineered deliberately, and the result goes far beyond roleplay. But we'll get to that. First, let me show you who lives inside. If you remember the first version, it had 3 default characters from Konosuba. In the second version, I removed them and made new characters, keeping the signature colors of the original. Let's meet them. Red. Marika, a night baker outside the city walls. Great-granddaughter of a vampire. All she inherited are the fangs, pale skin, and a nocturnal lifestyle. Her bakery opens after 6 in the evening. By dawn, she's already asleep. Blue. Selen, owner of a bathhouse in a city built on the slope of a dormant volcano. Looks at her customers like they're insects. That's exactly why they keep coming back. Yellow. Eva Renee. Lives in the imperial capital. A sweetheart, a ray of sunshine. She'll listen to your problems and make you feel like the most important person in the room. And then slit your throat, because she's a contract killer, and someone is paying her for it. And yes, I'm serious. At the start of each chat, a script randomly assigns her a contract for the entire session. One of them is an elimination. Let's start by sending a message. First, I need to connect to a provider. Now, let's say hi. And we get a response. Nothing unusual so far. TavernAI 2 has swipes, as you would expect. I can regenerate the last reply and switch back to the previous version. But here's the difference. Swipes are not limited to the last message. Any message can branch. I can go back to an earlier point, generate an alternative response there, and continue that version of the conversation separately. Now the chat has 2 real paths. I can switch between them, continue either one, or create even more alternatives. But there is another interesting feature here. Generation can happen in the background. For example, this message has 1 version, and this earlier one has 2. I'll start one generation here, and immediately start another one here. The first generation comes in. And if I switch back to the other branch, the second generation was already completed in the background. So TavernAI 2 can generate in multiple branches at the same time. You don't have to wait for one to finish before starting another. Attachments in TavernAI 2 are not locked to the input box. You can place images and files directly inside messages, in any order and in any amount. Let's send these 2 images. Because attachments are part of the message content, I can put text between them. After the message is sent, the structure is still editable. I can drag an image to another place in the same message. Or move it into a completely different message. So if an attachment belongs somewhere else, I don't need to re-upload anything. I just move it. Before we go deeper, here is a quick look at the interface. The chat area is resizable. I can drag the edge and make it wider or narrower at any time. The left panel contains everything related to generation. The right panel contains the libraries. Global settings are here, and TavernAI 2 has settings for almost everything. For example, themes. You can customize colors for basically every part of the interface. Surfaces, text, borders, accents, buttons, and more. Let's add some transparency to the main surfaces. Now the background comes through, and the interface gets a completely different look. And yes, even the send button gradient is customizable. Now let's look at the thing that controls almost everything in TavernAI 2, the prompt manager. This is where the final prompt is assembled before it goes to the model. Some items here are structural preset nodes. For example, this node represents the chat itself. It contains the chat macro. This one represents all card prompts that are currently included in the context. And this is a normal prompt that I used for the demo, so the model gives shorter answers instead of writing an entire novel every time. I can create a new prompt here, or create several of them. And of course, I can organize them. Let's create a folder. I can drag one prompt into it, or select multiple prompts and move them all at once. A folder is not just visual organization. If I disable the folder, everything inside it is disabled too. So entire sections of the prompt can be turned on or off with one click. Now, sometimes I don't want these prompts to be separate messages. I want them to become one actual message for the model. For that, I can use a merge group. These 4 prompts are now merged into a single system message. And if I remove the merge group, they become separate items again. But I can go much further. I can merge the entire prompt manager, including the structural nodes, into one message. For example, I can send the whole context as one assistant message. This is very useful because merging messages can make the model continue the scene instead of answering like an assistant. Prompts are not limited to text either. I can create a prompt, open it, and attach an image directly to it. So images and files can be part of the prompt structure itself, not just part of chat messages. And now comes the important part. The prompt manager is not only used for the chat. Let's open America. A character card in TavernAI 2 is also a prompt manager. That means a character is no longer just one big text field with a name and an avatar. A character can have any structure you want. In Marika's case, her card is split into multiple parts: an opening tag, her current location, a description of her home, images of the bakery, images of Marika from different angles, dialogue examples, a short appearance description for models that do not use images, the main character description, and a closing tag. So instead of forcing the whole character into one block of text, I can build the card as a real, structured prompt system. And this is also where TavernAI 2 replaces the old idea of separate Lorebooks and Regex systems. A Lorebook entry is basically a prompt that appears only under certain conditions. So, in TavernAI 2, those conditions are built directly into the prompt item. Here we have the activation rules. I can add a condition. The condition can be a simple keyword or a regular expression. For example, this prompt can activate when the chat mentions the city of Brennall. Then I choose what happens when the rule activates. It can be inserted normally or inserted at a specific depth in the chat context. So it can behave like a classic Lorebook entry, but it can also work in replace mode. In replace mode, the prompt does not insert new text. Instead, it replaces matching text, and I can choose whether that replacement is visible only to the AI, only in the displayed chat, or both. So the same system can handle Lorebook-style insertion, Regex-style replacement, and normal prompt structure. And because cards are prompt managers, I can create a card that behaves like a Lorebook. For example, I can make a card called Lorebook RPG, add several prompt entries, give them keywords, activation rules, and different insertion behavior. Then I can organize it in the character library, put it into a Lorebooks folder, and reuse it like any other card. This is why TavernAI 2 does not need a separate Lorebook editor, a separate Regex editor, and a separate character format doing the same thing in different places. The prompt manager is the common system underneath all of it. Now let's look at how chats actually work in TavernAI 2, because this part is very different from most apps. This is a fresh chat. I'll open the Participants panel, and as you can see, it is empty. But the chat still works. I sent a message, the AI replied, and there are no characters involved at all. This is the first important idea. In TavernAI 2, a chat is independent from characters. Let's add some characters from the original TavernAI: Legat and Chloe. These imported cards are extremely minimal. Chloe's card contains basically just her image, and Legat is the same, only an image. Right now, both characters are on the AI side. Let's say I want to play as Legat instead. I move Legat to the user side and set his role to user. Now let's ask the AI a simple question. The message is sent as Legat, and Chloe replies, describing him as a bald man in dim lighting, and so on. The AI is literally seeing my character through the other participant. Now let's flip it. I become Chloe, and Legat becomes the AI. Same question. And Legat describes Chloe, pale-skinned elf with short dark hair, and so on. Now let's make this more interesting. I'll add a third character and ask the AI which characters it is currently playing. And the AI responds as two characters at the same time, Legat and Shootin. This is a single AI message with multiple participants attached to it. And I can edit the participants of any message. I can open this message, add Chloe to it as well, and now this single message has 3 participants. So a message in TavernAI 2 is not locked to one character. You can decide exactly who is speaking, who is reacting, and who is part of the scene. Now what happens if I remove a character from the chat completely? TavernAI does not delete the messages. Instead, every message that used Chloe gets a placeholder where Chloe used to be. The message stays in the chat, but the participant slot is empty. And I can rebind that placeholder to another character. For example, I can connect those messages to Shootin instead. And now Shootin takes Chloe's place in every message that used her. So the chat history is preserved, but you can change the cast for one click. And sometimes I want a character or a prompt that exists only inside this specific chat. For that, I can create a unique card. A unique card is not part of the global library. It lives inside this chat only, which is perfect for one-off scenes, guest characters, or scenario-specific prompts. There are also 3 sending modes for the chat itself. Auto. This is the normal mode. You send a message, and the AI replies right after. Manual. In manual mode, sending a message does not trigger the AI. Instead, I choose exactly which character should respond, and only that character generates a reply. This is great for directed scenes where you want full control over who speaks next. Blank. In blank mode, my messages still send normally, but generation does not produce any AI text. Instead, it creates an empty message under the chosen character, and I fill it in myself. This is how you stage a scene from scratch, defining the opening, writing the first lines manually, and then letting the AI take over later. And once you start staging scenes like this, you naturally want to save them, not just as chats, but as starting points you can reuse. That is exactly what chat presets are for. This is the Chat Presets library. Each preset is a reusable starting point for a chat. Let's create a new one. I'll call it In Tavern. Editing a preset opens a normal chat with an indicator at the top showing that this is a chat preset. I add the 3 characters, make Legat the user, and write 2 opening messages, one as Chloe and one as Shootin, to set the scene. Then I add a cover image so the preset is easy to recognize in the library. And there it is in the library. When I press play, TavernAI creates a fresh chat from this preset. The characters are already in place, the opening messages are already written, and I just continue from there. The AI replies as Chloe and Shootin. The new chat is now a normal chat in the library, just like any other one. And the same idea applies to character greetings. A character's greetings are also chat presets. Each greeting is a small preset attached to that card, with its own opening and its own cover. So, presets, greetings, scenarios, they all use the same system underneath. Once you have a preset you like, sharing it is easy. Chat presets can be exported. You can choose what to include: the attached cards, their presets, attached files, and other resources. The export itself is a single PNG image. Everything required to reproduce the preset is embedded into that image, so sharing a scenario can be as simple as sharing a picture. Many of you already have huge libraries in older TavernAI or SillyTavern. TavernAI 2 has a mass importer for that. I just pointed to the folder of the old TavernAI version 1 installation and press Scan. And at this point, everything is ready to import. Scan already shows the important part. It found the old library, recognized the cards, the chats, and the lorebooks, and can bring them into the new system. The idea is simple. You don't have to start from scratch. Your characters, chats, and lorebooks can come with you in TavernAI 2. At this point, TavernAI 2 is no longer just a chat interface. It can become an engine for AI-driven interactive experiences. And instead of explaining that in theory, let me just show you one. This is Scout RPG, a built-in demo scenario about a courier traveling between cities. Large groups on main roads are easy targets for raiders and monsters, so scouts travel alone, using smaller paths, weather, terrain, and local knowledge to deliver packages between cities and earn good pay for the risk. Let's start a new run. The run begins in Brennall. And as you can see, this is not just a normal chat anymore. The preset has its own interface panel. Here we have the current scene image, and here we have the actual game state. Current weather, health, luck bonus, stamina, current location and route, and the progress of the delivery. All of this can change during the conversation based on what happens in the story. The first message also contains the starting setup for this run. Here is the cargo. It can be different each time. And here we choose the difficulty. There are 3 difficulty levels. The difficulty is locked after the first message, so the run has a real starting point. Let's leave the city. And now the panel updates. The location changed, the scene image changed, and the state of the journey moved forward. But here is the important part. This interface is not just displaying the latest global state. It is connected to the current message path. If I switch to another branch, where I decided to go through the forest, the panel immediately changes to the forest state. And if I switch to a different branch, where I chose the villages, the panel changes again. So every branch can have its own game state. This means you can roll back, try another route, delete messages, or explore alternate outcomes, and the game interface will follow the branch you are actually on. This works because TavernAI 2 can store custom data inside messages. The panel reads that data from the current chat path instead of relying on one single global variable. For AI games, this is a huge difference. And the whole thing is built inside TavernAI itself. Here is the script that controls part of the game logic. Here are attached assets, like scene images. And here are the instructions that tell the AI how to run the scenario, how to handle travel, how to use difficulty, and how to update the state. And because this is a chat preset, it can be exported and shared. The preset can include its cards, prompts, scripts, attachments, and other resources. So an interactive AI scenario can be distributed as a single, shareable preset. That means TavernAI 2 is not only a place to play these experiences, it is also a place to build them, package them, and share them with other people. So far, everything I showed is part of the standard TavernAI 2 experience. But if you want to go deeper, there is another layer where small things start to matter. Sometimes, one sentence changes everything. Sometimes, one word is enough. And when you are tuning prompts, trying different models, or building complex scenes, you need a way to try changes, keep the versions that work, go back when they don't, and see what actually changed. That is what TavernAI Pro is for. Let's start with quick presets. Here I have a narrator prompt. It contains instructions for how the model should write. Now, let's say I notice the model is focusing too much on small physical details, and I think this line is the reason. I want to try removing it, but I also want to keep the original version. So I create a preset from the current state. Then I create another one, and on this second preset, I delete that line. Now I can switch back to the previous preset, and the original text is still there. Switch forward, and we are back to the modified version. The full prompt is preserved on one preset, and the experiment lives on another. I can keep adding more variations, each as its own preset. And switching between them is just one click. And these presets are organized in a file structure, so I can create folders, rename presets, sort them, or create new ones directly from here. So instead of breaking your main prompt every time you want to test something, you keep the main version intact and let alternative versions live next to it. The same system works for the prompt manager itself. I can create presets here as well, and each preset can store a different combination of enabled and disabled prompts. The same idea works for chat participants. I can save participant configurations as presets too. In one preset, I'm playing as Legat, and the AI controls the rest. In the other, it is reversed. So switching between scene configurations is just one click, instead of reconfiguring every participant manually. Next message content swipes. This solves a very specific problem. Let's say I want to regenerate this message in the middle of the chat. Normally, if I create a swipe here, it creates a new branch. The new version is in a separate timeline. And sometimes that is what you want. But sometimes you just want a different version of this one message without splitting the entire chat into a new path. That is what a content swipe does. It regenerates the content inside the same message in the same position without creating a new branch. I can switch between content versions here, and the rest of the chat stays exactly the same. And I can also switch between content swipes and normal branch swipes on the same message. Green is content swipes. Yellow is branch swipes. Both exist on the same message, and I can move between them freely. Editing messages is part of working with AI. So TavernAI Pro keeps message versions. Every message has a small history button. At the start, there is only one version, the original. Now I edit the message and remove part of it. TavernAI automatically saved the original, so even after editing, I have both the original message and my edited version. I can go back to the original at any time, or back to my edit. And I can create new versions whenever I want to keep different edits side by side. So edits are no longer destructive. You can rewrite a message, clean it up, or rephrase it without ever losing the version the model actually generated. Next is prompt record. Every message in TavernAI Pro stores the raw API request and response that produced it. When I open the record for this message, I see exactly what was sent to the model and exactly what came back. Headers, parameters, the full prompt. If one response was perfect, you can go back and see what produced it, even weeks later. And now we get to one of the most important Pro tools, Final Prompt Viewer. This shows me the exact prompt that would be sent to the model if I pressed Generate right now. Every block here corresponds to a real part of the final request. This first system message is Legat's appearance prompt with his image attached. These next 7 are Marika's card prompts, then the chat messages, and at the bottom, the short answers system prompt from the chat's prompt manager. The chat messages are also visible here, with their roles and content. I can inspect any message and see exactly how it appears in the final request. Now let's open Marika's card. These 7 system messages come directly from Marika's prompt structure. So the viewer does not just show me the final prompt, it shows me why the prompt looks the way it does. Now let's see what happens when I change the structure. I merge all of Marika's prompts into a single system message, and the preview updates. 7 blocks became 1. Now let's go further. I merge the entire prompt manager into one assistant message. And now the whole prompt is a single green block. Everything, the character card, the chat messages, the system prompts, all merged into one assistant message. And if I undo the merge, the original structure comes back. Now let's merge only the chat messages into one. For that, I merge the chat structural node with an empty prompt and change its role. All 7 chat messages become one green assistant message, while the system prompts above and below stay separate. This is useful when you want the model to treat the entire conversation history as its own continuation, rather than as a back-and-forth dialogue. And with the viewer, you can see the exact result before sending anything to the model. And this is how TavernAI Pro works. A level of control most apps simply don't expose. Pro is available on Patreon. You can switch between Standard and Pro at any time in either direction, and your data stays exactly where it is. Now let's talk about how TavernAI 2 runs. TavernAI 2 requires no installation. You download it, you run it. The whole thing is under 300 megabytes. Once it is running, TavernAI 2 stays completely silent on the network. No background update checks, no remote fonts, no external frameworks loading behind the scenes. The app remains fully offline until you explicitly send a request to an AI provider. And if you are running a local model, not a single byte has to leave your machine. Don't take my word for it. Any network monitor will show you the same thing. And that is all for today. Well, almost. TavernAI 2 supports real-time synchronization between clients. The same chat can be open in 2 windows, and both stay in sync. If I edit a message here, it updates there. If I switch branches here, the other window follows. For example, you can keep the chat open on your phone while editing the prompt manager on your desktop. All at once. And that is TavernAI 2, a place where you can write, build, experiment, and share it with other people. You can design experiences, create worlds, or push it further into something more interactive. All download links are in the description. Thank you for watching.